Alright, today we are going up to Killyon Canyon from Pinecrest Road, which I am parked on. Here's some apples. The start of this trail is quite steep, but it levels off pretty quickly. And most of it, until you get into the actual canyon, is pretty exposed. But it worked out perfectly today because it was super stormy, so I had a lot of cover. And it does pass through trees before you get into the canyon when it goes into the little valleys of this hike. You can see the storm kind of brewing around. And the trees are turning red and yellow, which is awesome. Most of the coloration you're going to see is from the maple trees. Here we are at a little river, and this is where the Killyon Canyon actually is. And there's many ways to access this trail. But the one I did, you don't have to walk through a road, which the other entrance you will. That is not on Pinecrest Road. And this scene I'm trying to film is me trying to chase some turkeys. I couldn't really get them on camera. But yeah, there's a ton of turkeys up here. And they were a little cautious of me. They didn't fly away, but just kind of crawled into the bushes. And you can see this nice little stream runs along the entire canyon trail. And someone built some kind of retaining wall, and there's a bridge here. You can tell it's not official. It's just a bunch of random pieces of wood on some fallen trees, but it does the job. Here we are approaching the turnoff to go up to the ridge, which has some interesting stuff you'll soon see. But you just kind of go on a little faint trail up until you hit this red rock, and then you just keep going up and up. And it's a very interesting area because it looks like southern Utah, but it's just right outside of Salt Lake. And there's lots of interesting plants up here that you would regularly not see growing together. Here's a good view of the fall colors mixed in with the pines and spruces and firs. Here's some cryptobiotic crust, so be sure to avoid it as you're coming up, as it takes a long time to recover. And here we are almost on the very top of this cool ridge. And here we are looking all around at the awesome colors. The storm actually left. It did rain for like 2 seconds and then it left. It was a little windy most of the time, but it actually turned out to be very good weather. There is some scrambling and bushwhacking up to this point, but it's not terrible. And there's actually a geocache on top if you want to find it too. There it is. And here we are coming back down. And this is where the trail kind of starts into the ridge line from the main trail. There's some weird flagging on these trees. I don't know if that's about. Some nice deep pool of water right there. And just some cool colors. And I decided to go down towards the other entrance to find a geocache. Here's a cool little zone. And you can see the sign's a little old, but it does tell you where you need to be going. And here's the geocache I came to look for. It's really old. It's a little moist. But yeah, it's just on the main trail as you loop onto the Killyon Canyon trail. Yo, dog, what's going on? You know how it's gonna be. I'm just sitting in the bar right here. Alright, that's pretty good. Seen any good treats? What is happening here?
Yeah, I'm looking at a real good treat right now.
What?
You heard what I said. I see a treat right here.
Audible gulp. What is happening here? Well, anyways. So we're going back down on the trail to loop back to the Pinecrest Road. And here's that little junction again. And the turkeys made another appearance. I was trying to get a good shot of them. Was not super successful, but you can kind of see them. And here we go, back into the storm, and it's starting up again. Back on the road. Before it rained again. Oh, random turkey. Alright, so I rate these hikes using 3 criteria: solitude, scenery, and difficulty. Solitude is how many people are hiking on a trail with you. The scenery are the good views, and difficulty is how hard the hike is. So for solitude, I give it an 8. I only saw one person, and especially if you get further up into the canyon and on the ridge, I don't think you're going to see anyone. But it does get some moderate use. Scenery, I give it an 8. The first part isn't super awesome, but as you get into that canyon, it gets very forested, and then obviously the cool red rocks bump it up to an 8. And then difficulty is a 6. Most of the trail is pretty easy. There are some really steep parts, just really short distances, and then bushwhacking and some slight bouldering up to the top of the ridge. If you choose to do that, would add a little bit more, so maybe a 6. So if you like this video, do a triple backflip off a tall staircase. Goodbye.